Hello and welcome back to Indalo. Well, today I got a gift in the post from a very good friend of mine. It's my new Class 47 from Hornby. So I'm going to unbox it and just show you what it's like. So I'm going to try and do this again with one hand on the camera and one hand trying to open the box. So it's not always easy, but I think it's going to come out okay. Right, let's put the box out the way. So there we are. Everything you need to know about your Class 47, all of the instructions. As always from Hornby, very, very basic. This is a Class 47 with digital sound on board. And I'm sure in here it tells you all of the functions that, well, you would need to know to actually operate that. And there it is. Okay, so let's get this thing unboxed and onto the layout so you can actually see exactly what it really does sound like and look like when it's going round. Again, very well packaged from Hornby in terms of their coverage of it. Let's get that out. Obviously in a plastic cover to protect the paintwork. You get a little bag in here as well, which I'm surprised. I thought it would actually come with it on, but you can choose whether you want it on or not. But this is the country of Hertfordshire. Now I lived in Hertfordshire for 25 years. Nice place, so that's quite fitting. Let's look at the actual loco itself. Well, as always from Hornby, it's got static buffers. They're not retractable like there is on some others. Quite well detailed in terms of the actual painting. It's very sharp along here as well. Do like the large British Rail loco there. So the loco itself inside, if you can see inside, if I can get that focused, is detailed to a degree in terms of it's got the seats and the dashboard that I can see, not very well on the camera. It does feel a little bit light, I must say. It says DCC fitted, so I won't need to take this one apart and install any decoder. All looks fine underneath. So guess really I just need to get it on the layout and see what it looks like and sounds like. So I'm going to take it over to my layout now, put it on my command station and let it read the chip and see what it comes up with. Okay, just firing the command center up, the ECOS ESU command center, and that will obviously read the actual loco. I'll put the loco here on my programming track. This here is purely, with this ramp, purely here for programming purposes. It's not connected to the main layout, which is this one here. This is a standalone piece of track that I can actually put the locos on and do any configuration of the CVs or read any of the various different decoders that I actually have in the trains. You can program on the main, but I prefer to actually program on a separate track. My little boy has just come in to join me. There he is. He's always here with me. This is Duke. Say hello, Duke. He's my boy. Okay, so now all I need to do with the decoder is select any one of these. I've got two 40s on there, so see if I can. So if I go into new loco, create manually, let's turn it on, and then all I need to do is just go to advanced and just click start. Now it's obviously very important down here that you actually do select programming track. There you go. The radio button that is actually in programming track, which is this one here. Because in the back of the ECOS, there's two feeds. The red and black, if you can just see there, there you go. The red and black is for the main bus wire of my layout, and this blue and orange is for my programming track. So they are two separate. So all I need to do now is actually click start. And it's time to read it. See the trains moving slightly. So that's actually reading the decoder inside. And it's going to go through and it's going to tell you what decoder profile is. Then it's going to read all the various different CVs. Currently it's read 35 CVs. And it's going to take 2 or 3 minutes to actually go through, but it does read everything completely and it puts everything in your profile. All you have to do really is add the photo of this specific loco. You can either do that by taking a photograph of it and adding it into your system, or normally the ESU ECOS community, someone would have actually probably already bought this train and put a picture of it on the site, which you can download it, and it's in the right configuration, the right file size, and you just download it and you attach it to this particular file, and then you've got a picture of it. So that's always a good thing as well. So it's a visual representation, not just class 47, because if you have a number of them and they're in different colors, sometimes it can be hard to distinguish which one you're using. For example, I've got a couple of HSTs, as you can see them there. That's just the main driver, and that's the dummy car behind it. But I've got two HSTs. So if I just put in a HST 125 without the actual picture, sometimes it can be hard to distinguish unless you actually know the decoder number or the running number of that particular model. So, well, that was quick. It's done it already. So if I now go back to the actual, if I tick that off, and then it goes back. Now, it puts a generic picture in here of any particular loco. So if I go into edit, I say I can change this. Stored within the ECOS here, you have a number of different locos. A lot of them are actually, because ESU, a lot of them are actually American. However, you can, if you're going to user define, these are all of mine that I've actually got, that I've actually uploaded. You can see these are all my, there's my 125. The, I call it the yellow and blue one, the original 70s one. And there's the other one, the Grand Central one. And that's the cleaner. So you can actually, but until I get that uploaded, I leave it as the generic picture that it chose before. Or you can just have just that, but it's not a Steam. So we need to actually, you can look for specifics just with diesel only or steam only, depending on what it is. Sometimes I do try and find something that's very close to that. But for the purpose of this video, I'm just going to leave it as that. Okay, so that's done. So it's given it address as 3. So I'm actually going to call it here name. You can type in what you want to call it. So I'm going to call it a class 47. That's what it is. And it's DCC address of 3. Okay, so there you go, it's there. And these are all the functions. Lights, various different. It's come alive. Let's get this on the main track and see it moving. Obviously what I would still need to do yet with my software, I use iTrain, is get it speed profiled. This is not easy to do with one hand, especially on a 6-wheel unit. This is why I use the ramps. I think that's on. Right, okay, so now let's use the functions that it's picked up here and see how they work. So lights, does it have lights? There's no lights there, or is it the other way? No, there's no lights on this. Right, so the next one is function 1. And rather than just having F a function, you can actually change these as well. Let's turn that off. Just obviously the engine starting up. So for example, if I wanted to actually have a visual representation of that, I can go into the actual loco itself and say edit, go into the properties here, and you can change that. So for example, if that is the engine starting, I can find an engine startup or a symbol that looks like an engine startup and just put that in when I find one. Gives you quite a lot of different symbols. Maybe that one. Looks like an engine startup. You get the actual idea. So you can go through all of these depending on what they are. If it's a whistle, you can put in a whistle. If it's a bell, you put in a bell, and so on and so on. So there you go. That's now come up with an engine symbol. So I know that's like the start of the engine. So let's see what 2 is. Did you hear that? I'll do it again. Well, that obviously is a horn. So I just need to go through all of these now. And there's a different horn. That's obviously the wheels going around the track, around a corner. Some of them sound like a fan. That's a door close. So F11 I know is a door close. Okay. So some of them, obviously, I don't know why, but they don't do anything, or not that I can see they do anything. So anyway, let's see what it looks like going around the track. So I've just noticed as well that this is actually selected code 3. And also this other Hornby here, the 125, is code 3. And if you watch, they both move together. So what I'm going to have to do is repatch a different address to this, else I'm going to have that 47 and the 125 move at the same time. So I'm going to go and do that now, and I'm going to come back and I'll show you the train going around. is the new class 47 of Hertfordshire.